Hi, welcome. We are enjoying another webinar today. I want to, do you want to chat with Pamela? And then Kathy, I believe, is on her way, or we can see her, but I'm not sure she can see us.
We're still trying to work out all of this new technology that businesses today are having to shift into in order to reach their people. So I'm actually really excited. I'm going to kind of hang back and try to not say very much because although I own a medical spa, the day spa kind of thing is a very interesting topic for me because I think it's something that's extremely necessary and something that people really look for. And I think the medical spa is that experience of the day spa with the medical licensed procedures. And so I really just want to learn from your guest today, Dr. Gill with Kaffee. But we're trying to figure out how to provide this to you guys and actually get everybody together.
So you saw a brief glimpse of Kaffee right there. Kaffee is a treasure in West Palm Beach. She has been an esthetician for 37 years. She has worked in the Hamptons, New York, Southern California, and she was on Palm Beach. And she opened her own spa 22 years ago called Kaffee's Garden Spa. So I'll let Kaffee tell you a little bit more about herself.
Hello, everyone. So glad to be here today with these ladies who are making this all happen. And I am thrilled to be able to share with you. I have been a dedicated esthetician for 37 years and enjoyed every moment of it. I practice conventional aesthetics as well as holistic aesthetics. I feel like one of the things that my clients enjoy about my treatments is the relaxation aspect of what I provide for them, as well as the improvement to their skin. So I would love to talk today with both Pamela and Dr. Gill about what we see as happening because of the lockdown that we're under and now the new normal of having to wear masks on our faces when we go out into public and how that's affecting us. It's quite a phenomenon. And although I'm not seeing clients right now, there's a lot of talk about how this is affecting people. And we're seeing pictures, obviously, of all the healthcare people who, nurses and doctors who are really having problems. So we thought we would address a little bit of how you can mitigate some of those issues with the right approach to taking care of your skin, because obviously we have to wear the mask.
So Kathy and I sort of, and Pamela pulled our heads together and we found that what do we think are the most common problems? And if you guys have the webinar link, you can put your questions in where it says Q&A. Also on the Instagram Live, you can ask us questions. But what we believe people are having problems is with irritation from the masks. And from, Kathy was talking about a lot of products at home can cause irritation if we're just trying different things to try to clear up our blackheads. So we wanted to talk a little bit about irritation. We also wanted to cover breakouts, and because we can't get our facials right now at our usual salons and spas, we wanted to talk about products and things you could do to help keep your skin exfoliated and to prevent the breakouts. And finally, because of all the stress and aging and things, we had some suggestions for anti-aging and dermal collapse. So over to Kaffee again. I did have a PowerPoint which I got ready, but every time I share it, nobody else can see anything. So unfortunately, I just have to attach the PowerPoint to the Facebook or the YouTube, but I can't share it with you guys.
We can share it in the follow-up emails. We'll figure out the solution to these, how we can get you guys all this information, because that's our entire intention of all of these experts we brought together for the next month is, not a ulterior motive, but a it's free, and we just want to get the people that we know and love and trust to bring the topics that we feel are important right now to the people we love and care about, and touch as many as possible. So we'll get them the information. So we'll get it there.
It's great. And the sharing aspect, you know, it's great for people to share. So I think with these masks, what's happening is a new environment is being created underneath that mask when we have to wear them for a long period of time. And that's a moist, humid environment, which is the perfect environment for breakout to occur.
And just to break out for a second, if you wouldn't mind joining me on my IG live, Kathy, we can have people see your face on there too. I don't know whether you can, we practiced that earlier today, so it should work.
And if anybody out there knows like how to do this whole IG live thing where you can get multiple people on it, please let us know, because
yeah, I've got the 2 people down. Pamela says there's a way you can do 4, and I don't know that. So, but
we're experts in our own fields, but this whole like social media thing is like not our expertise. So anyway, I do know, or my question for you, Kathy, is, you know, I know that the skin is needing to be a certain pH, right? Like that's where it thrives, to be a certain pH. That's the healthiest way to be. We're going to have feedback if we do it that way. We're going to have.
That's, it's a bit behind, isn't it?
And I would, because then it's coming over this. We'll share the recording video and we'll get it out. We will get it out to everybody, and we'll figure it out too. pH of our skin, like there's only a few organs, right, that are supposed to be acidic, and our skin is one of those. That's its own protective barrier.
Yes, and that is a wonderful aspect of skincare, is trying to balance that pH.
Mm-hmm.
And using the right products can obviously do that. Right now, my suggestion is, if you are experiencing any problems with the masks, is to use things that are formulated for sensitive skin, things that are less complicated. You may want to back off of any kind of retin-A or retinol, skin that thins the surface of the skin. That barrier repair is so important when the irritation from the mask begins to take hold. So the skin needs to be supported as much as possible by not having irritants put on it.
Right.
So,
and the physical mask rubbing on it can be an irritation. And so in many ways, I like the cotton mask better than some of the plastic masks, because the plastic is quite unforgiving. The cotton can at least breathe a little bit. But so when they do have like a sore area, as a plastic surgeon, I have my own way of dealing with it. But what do you think, Kathy, as to what would be the best way if they have an area that keeps getting irritated?
Well, you need to soothe that area to help regenerate and heal. And one of the best things that I have found throughout my career is to use the power of aloe vera. It's very soothing, very healing, very regenerative. And as a matter of fact, I'm kind of known for my aloe product, which is
that a picture of an aloe plant behind you?
I was just going to say the same thing. I believe that's an aloe plant right behind you.
I think
nature gives us the perfect.
It looks very much like an aloe plant, but it's an agave, which are kind of in the same family.
Right.
It's its cousin's second time removed or something, huh?
Yes, exactly. They're all.
And I know that you actually invented a product with aloe and lavender. It's like an amazing blue bottle.
Yes, it's it has a cult following, and among people who love it so much, they refer to it as the blue bottle. I do have, I'm not sure where to hold it, but this is one of my aloe fluids, and it's very lightweight. It's a water-based product, so it's great for any kind of irritation that's already existing on the skin. And because of the lavender in it, it helps to kill bacteria. It's very soothing, the lavender as well. So there is also another main component of it is hyaluronic acid. And hyaluronic acid is a very hydrating molecule. It holds moisture to the tissue. And that's another thing with this irritation from masks is we need hydration. It's always challenging to keep our skins hydrated, and hyaluronic acid is one of the proven methods to do that.
And hyaluronic acid is also what we use in fillers for many of the fillers that we're used to. And so it's a substance that's in between our cells and helps draw water in and plump things up. So it's a natural, it's part of our bodies anyway. And also with all the air conditioning right now, or the heating, depending on what part of the world you're in, it is very drying to our skin as well. And so, so I think keeping that barrier function there is super important. And I know though our skins have to have a certain amount of water and a certain amount of oil in a good blend in order to have that perfect barrier. So you suggested using your aloe hydrating fluid like after a cleanser and before a barrier, is that right?
It actually goes on the clean skin, that's correct. And then you use a barrier over it to seal it in. Right now, with the irritation that we're trying to address, it is important to use a very emollient sealant on the surface.
I have a question from one of our guests here. Is this something that can be ingested, or would that have any benefit?
Aloe can be ingested, absolutely. Mine is not, we don't recommend that you ingest it, but there are many aloes on the market that are made for drinking, and they're very soothing to the stomach, even the esophagus, all the parts of the body that would be affected by the aloe, and it's very good for all kinds of issues.
It's very calming, yeah. And we are going to have coming up Magic and Jennifer in a subsequent wellness episode. They're going to talk about essential oils, and we can discuss with them which of those they like to use topically and which they like to ingest. But today we're sticking to skin. No gun.
I'm asking the questions that our guests are asking. So.
No, it's great. Thank you.
So another thing that you would want to avoid with any kind of irritation on the skin is any kind of powerful actives, which are normally more for anti-aging or prolonging the life of the skin. So when your skin begins to show these symptoms of irritation, it's time to back off of a lot of the things that you might be able to use normally. And there's a new term in skincare that's called baselining. And to baseline,
it's like a drug addict problem.
It does. It does. I've got to plug my phone in while we were talking about the baselining because my for the IG. But I'm right here, so keep talking. And
maybe it's a skincare product addict problem.
And there are lots of us out there that are skincare product addicts for sure. But what baselining is basically you stop using everything that you normally do, and you use products that are very soothing to the skin. And if the skin responds and the breakout or the irritation subsides, then you know that you were on the right track. That maybe it was something that you were using in your daily home care that was irritating you, not the mask. So it's a matter of trying to determine where that irritation is coming from. And this is one of the ways that you can do it.
In medicine, we have what's sometimes, especially more elderly people, they can be on multiple medications, and sometimes you don't know what's causing the side effect, what's causing the problem, and we give people a drug holiday, where we stop everything and we start over. And so this is kind of like a drug holiday. Obviously, that's under medical supervision. You don't want to stop your meds without medical supervision.
Never.
Yeah, but for the equivalent of a drug holiday and a skin holiday, this regimen is great if you have a gentle cleanser, a soothing balm, and then a barrier. And so you can find those products wherever, whichever ones you like. We have examples here. We have the Zio gentle cleanser, and then you would use Kaffee's Aloe hydrating fluid, and then you could top that up with a hydrating cream. And the hydrating cream you can use anywhere, face, body. It's also by Zio, and it's good to carry around because these days we're doing a lot of sanitizing, or we should be. And then you can just put some cream on after you do the sanitizing, because you don't want your skin to crack and lose that barrier function.
Oh, and so I did want to just touch on that, because I'm not sure, like, if the average individual isn't in this field where we understand how our body naturally protects itself and needs to protect itself, that when we start doing things that are cleansing it, like that, but they're stripping that protective barrier, it's making us more susceptible. If we have like micro cracks, you might not even see them or know about them, or your face is irritated, and you are now having areas that entry areas of whatever is out there that can expose you. So you might be wearing the mask, but you might be opening up other channels for entry.
With the virus that causes COVID, for example,
right.
That can enter not just through the nose, it can enter other ways too.
Right.
You have to be careful, as Pamela's saying.
And a lot of people are using a lot of stripping things right now, because that is what kills the virus, but it also is stripping our body's ability to protect itself. So
that's exactly right. There is something called the microbiome, which is our own natural protection, and every time we cleanse, we wash off all of those good bacteria. So all of this constant washing, it has a downside as well. So I think that's what you're saying, Pamela.
Right.
But we still hate the blackheads when they come up, and we're like, I know people are fascinated with Dr. Pimple Popper. I get so many. Like, you watch Dr. Pimple Popper.
I can't even believe that there's somebody out there with that name and has following. But I'm like, okay,
huge following, huge. So I can deal with blackheads, but what, Kaffee, is the best way to deal with blackheads?
Well, and the mask situation can also add to the creation of blackheads. So one of the things that you have to soften those that oil before you can get it out. Sometimes it's oxidized. That is what creates the black part. Sometimes they're just plugs in the pores that aren't black that will release easily. But some prep
whiteheads?
Not necessarily, because a whitehead is not open to the surface, whereas a blackhead or just a filled pore is open. Usually when they're white, they have some bacteria, that there's some pus there. With a regular blackhead, there's usually not the inflammation and pus. So,
and then there's the amelia, or what,
that's correct.
That is an entirely different thing that we don't want to be,
and that's not in a
trying
pore
to
opening at all.
address. Right. So
let your even estheticians, a medical esthetician can take care of that for you.
Right.
But to prep for blackhead extraction, a softening agent needs to be used. And again, aloe is a perfect thing to do that. So over the years, we have recommended our fluid for clients because it's oil-free. It can work on any condition,
Right.
Oily, acne, dry. So by softening those, then after a shower, you can put a little bit of pressure and they should release.
So
They cooperate more when you're like a little bit more like, hey, this is a soft environment, and when
That's
right.
That's
They
right.
cooperate.
I've been researching what people are doing right now at home, and it seems that there's a few different lines of attack. Some of them are working more on the exfoliating end of things, and another group is working more on the antibacterial end of things. So in the exfoliating, people are using brown sugar and honey combinations. They're using some more acid type products. Even what I saw, somebody made a strip with warm milk and honey that they microwaved. They put that on, and then they put some cotton and did like the home version of the Biore strip. So what do you think of all these kind of like the exfoliation kind of remedies that people are using?
I think sometimes they work well. You just have to be very careful not to overdo it, especially with abrasion, like you're talking about. Sugar or salt can be very abrasive and irritating to the skin. So if you've already got inflammation there, you don't want to inflame it any further. But yes, exfoliation is an important factor of good skincare. So I would say it's a balancing act, and many people want to take it a little bit further, and then they have a bad reaction. So
We have another question from one of our guests on.
Right.
So have we seen the TV ad that shows a black mask that goes across your nose that you apply, and minutes later the blackheads are removed? And this is the Biore strip or whatever. What are our thoughts about that?
You know, I think I have seen that, but I have not seen what the ingredients in that product are. I know those types of products have been on the market for a very long time. So they must work for some people. I would not necessarily be an advocate of doing it that way, but again, because I think there needs to be some prep work done before you go at a black.
Right, and I think ultimately where we're all at, like why we even, Dr. Gill and I even like said, let's do this series for everybody, because where we're at right now in society, in our world, in our nation, is none of us feel great about what's, we don't feel secure. We don't, and so we don't want to look in the mirror and feel insecure about how we look. I'm trying to like get this pop-up that's coming on my screen. So I don't know about you guys, but for me as a woman, I'm like, I don't want to feel fearful in my own life. And so if I can look in the mirror and go, I'm going to scrub my face and try to be as young as I can look, so I at least feel good about me, that I have control over something that I can feel good about,
Yeah, there is something about scrubbing that makes you feel good, but there is a product that Zio makes that is called an exfoliating peel that is gentle. You just put it on. If you have very sensitive skin, you can take it off after a few minutes, but you can leave it on all night if you have normal skin. And so it just softens slowly, and you just do it once a week or so. But so until we can open up and get facials, that's one thing you might want to consider, is this exfoliating peel that you can just put on there. And Zio has very good studies behind every one of their products, which is why I like them. But I think the message you're getting across is we want something, but we don't want it to be too harsh.
Right, and we want to make sure people understand, like, people can claim anything on a product. Like, if you're going to the grocery store or the department store, they can kind of claim anything. But if we're not really understanding what the ingredients are and how they're being absorbed into our body's largest filter, which is our skin, if we're not educated on that, and we're not educated about what is going to protect our skin and support it, and we're just buying into what's being advertised, you know.
Yeah, the ingredients are critical. Like a lot of the black masks have charcoal in them, and charcoal is very good at absorbing toxins. And so in theory, it's actually a good product to have. But you have to see, what does your skin actually need? Does it have toxins on the skin that you want to absorb? And most people don't. So it's a lot of times it's a mixture of acids that you put on the skin, like glycolic and lactic acid.
Lactic is one of my favorites. Yes.
Right. Because our skin, I think there's 2 or 3 organs. Dr. Gill, you might know this. The only organs within our human body that is naturally created to be perfectly able to protect itself is our skin and our stomach, our gut, and our hair. Are toxic. I mean, not toxic. They are acidic, and everything else is alkaline. Because the acidity, the pH it needs to be on the scale of, what is it, 1 to 12 or something like that. I'm on the business side of things, not the medical side of things. But like water, the pH is 7, right? And our skin is supposed to be like 7 point something.
0.5.
7.5. So it's on the higher end of acidity.
The acid, right.
Right. And then our gut, that's the only way that our gut has to have the microbiome.
Yeah.
And it's an acidic nature.
Yeah, in the 7.5 is actually a little bit more alkaline. The higher the number, the more alkaline. The lower the number, the more acidic.
More acidic. So I have that backwards, and I appreciate that, because I am not the medical expert. I just know that there's only 2, and I think our hair also, organs that need to be a certain pH.
Yeah, in our blood we have buffers that sort of take up the extra ions or the extra protons, electrons or protons, to keep it sort of at the right pH. But on our skin we don't have those buffers if we strip it off with cleansers, and so that's when it's really important to have the right acidity of. And hair is like an extension of skin. It's very important to have the right acidity and the right products, so you're not stripping off the barrier, but you are cleaning off the dead parts. So it's a fine line. But we also wanted, we're almost out of time. I just wanted to mention quickly about, Kaffee wanted to discuss the term dermal collapse,
which is a new term, or relatively new to me, that we all are concerned about, of course, is the elasticity and the hydration of our skin, and that as time goes on, begins to we lose that. So there are all kinds of active ingredients that will help to replace what the skin can't do. It will help to regenerate, will help to reestablish some of that. And a lot of what really helps is antioxidants are a good thing to have in your skincare. And antioxidants are actually stem cells are actually high in antioxidants. There are many of those, and what an antioxidant does for us is it negates the
free radicals and the oxygen.
Free radicals, exactly.
That whole free radical thing, I always say it's like this army that's like attacking.
That's right.
And you have to have this barrier to like go, you're not getting me today, you free radical.
Right. So there's wonderful things on the market that we can keep our skin youthful for longer. I think everyone is looking for those things.
And you can buy them online. Pick your favorite brands. By now I like Zio, and they have a firming serum and a growth factor that together are amazing. So, but whatever line you use, look for those ingredients. Look for the growth factors. Look to see if they have. They can actually increase the elasticity of the skin. A lot of times, the collagen products increase the volume, but not necessarily the natural elasticity of the skin, which is something that kids have. And they're so adorable, the kids, because they're all like elastic. So.
It's a fish net catching fish. Collagen being the fish and the elastin being the net, right? Like
right.
you need to be able to have that net to catch your fish.
And all the different ingredients that signal those things work, like peptides, actually are able to communicate with those cells and get them working again. So that's another thing that we want to look for are peptides in our products, especially in our night care.
Yeah, it's super important. And I do know that we're out of time, but we have, this has been recorded and we're going to upload it to the event page. And Kaffee, I'm super excited to get to know you a little bit more. I love your passion and your knowledge. And I'm actually excited too to learn more about the Zio product that we've been talking about, because a couple of practitioners I have really love that too. And it's not one I currently carry. But I've heard great things about it. And I really want to know more about your Aloe product, one, because of the whole concept behind it, but also the color is our color of our brand and our med spa. So it's like,
those of you who would like to know more about the Aloe that will be in what Dr. Gill has put together. Where get in touch with us.
And on our Facebook event page, we're going to provide these hyperlinks to be able to get a hold of Kaffee and be able to get me and Dr. Gill and any questions you might have. And we have a guest here that said it was a great discussion. They learned a lot and would love more info. So we will make sure that you have that information.
Yeah. And this is a general discussion. If you want specifically to know what would work for your skin, each of us does have online consult services available, and the links are on that PowerPoint. You can have Kaffee talk with you, or myself, or Pamela's aesthetician. So
there's no charge for that. Right now, we're here for you. We want to be of service, and obviously, if we're going to come and do more and more in a different way, then whatever, it might have a fee behind it, but a consultation request or discussion has no charge behind it. We just want to be of service right now as much as we can with as many people as we can. So
great. Well, thank you so much, Kaffee. We would love to have
you, Dr. Gill.
Great. Hi, guys.
We'll figure out the whole technology thing and make it even better and better. But every day, 3 o'clock, we'll have a great topic for everybody. So
enjoy.
Enjoy. Thank you, Kaffee. And thank you, Dr. Gill.